Hi, I'm Chef Raphael and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Chef Raphael. And today it's a special edition because we are showing you how to make chapati. Now, these ones that I've made here are soft, are flaky, have layers. So I'll show you how to make it. And also today's episode is special because I have a guest, Lucia, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Lucia Musau and I am into fashion. I'm into fashion and PR. But the reason why I'm here is because fashion does meet kitchen.
Okay.
You know, great food, great taste, everything amazing. I'm looking forward to preparing some of the most amazing chapos, you know.
Welcome to the episode. Let's get started. So if you're new to the show, make sure you subscribe so that you're notified whenever I have a new recipe out. And today's ingredients for chapati, it's I have some sugar. Now the sugar is what gives the sweetness, and to be honest, it's optional. And then I have all-purpose flour, water, salt, and cooking oil. To the flour, what I'll add is salt. I'll add about 3 pinches of salt, and sugar, I'll also do it in pinches. It should be less than the salt.
Okay.
I'll put 2, and again, sugar is optional. I think the most important thing is actually the salt. And then I'll add the water, 450 ml of water.
So 450 ml of water and
600.
The flour is
600, yes.
Okay.
So I'll save some of the water. That's
Yes.
because I'm going to add oil.
Okay.
I'll add about 50 ml
Okay.
of oil.
Okay.
And then this one thing I also learned. I remember a long time ago when I used to see chapatis being made, the oil used to be added at the end.
That's true.
You don't need to, it's a liquid. Just add it now so that
Yeah.
when you start mixing, there's so many misconceptions about chapati. Let's start with what makes chapati soft. It's actually the oil.
Oh, it's not the formula or your, you know?
The kneading, yes,
The
that
kneading.
that has a part to play.
Yeah.
But one of the thing that you need to add at the beginning is the oil. The oil helps in making it soft.
Okay.
So that's why you have the oil.
Does it matter whether you use cold or?
No, and that's why I'm actually using water from the tap. Yes.
Okay. So ideally, this one of the things that I'm noting here is to make sure that you have the exact measurement.
Yes.
To avoid by this time myself, I would have already added a little bit of flour, a little bit of more water,
yes.
a little bit of everything.
Yes. And you see now, it's already good. It's not sticking to the hand.
Yes, and even I can see
Yes.
it's not.
Yes. And now if the bowl is too small, now this is what now you transfer to the surface
Okay.
like that. You form it into a strip
Okay.
like that, and then turn it, and then form it into a strip again. Again, if it keeps on sticking, just add extra flour
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that trick, that tip of rolling like that into a
So
strip.
Roll. Keep moving as a
Yes,
strip.
from the center coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know there was any formula to this.
There is a formula, and then now you turn it.
Now, at what point do
Mhm.
you then know that it's ready?
Okay.
The stickiness?
The stickiness is one. The other thing, let me show you. You see, when we started, it was rough,
Yes.
and as you keep kneading it,
It's getting more.
it's getting more together like a smooth.
Yeah.
So it takes about 3-4 minutes
Okay.
for me, but maybe for you it can take about 5 minutes.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's about how fast, like for me, I can do it fast, like that. You do it like that, and then turn it, and then you stop kneading it when you see it's all coming in together. It's a good idea to make it into a ball like that. Right now it's, and then now what we will do is cover it with a damp cloth, and the idea is for it not to have a crust. Yeah, you can either cover it with a damp cloth or a cling film.
And tell me, why do we exactly have to wait for 15 minutes?
So that you see the gluten that I was saying, when you work the dough, it needs to rest, so that because if you start rolling it right now, it will keep coming back. That's why you need for it to rest.
To rest a little bit.
At room temperature, about 15 minutes, yes.
Fantastic. Okay, let's do this. Super excited.
So now it's been 15 minutes. You can even leave it longer.
Yeah.
And you can see the touch.
Yes. Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yes.
So what you do now, now you see it's rested.
Yeah.
Now what I usually do is I roll it into a long, like that. Now this is how I divide it to form my balls that I will use now to to make the chapos. So the balls now should be the same size.
Mine looks bigger.
Yes, so if it's slightly bigger, yes, yes, put it aside, and then yes. So you make them into equal size balls. So that's step one. Now you have relatively equal sized balls. Now how do you make it round? Now this is where the trick is. When you start with a ball, now small amount of flour, make it into a ball, and then press. So if you start as a round shape like that, then you'll get a round disc. So, and there's also the technique whereby you start by rolling on one direction, and then you turn to roll on the second direction. But now we're not going to roll it too much, because this is the first stage. Now we're going to add the oil. Now to get the layers of chapati that we love as Kenyans. Spreading the oil, and a thin layer. You don't need a lot of oil. This is just one way of doing it. There's so many other ways of doing this, but I prefer this method. And I'll form it into a cone, round. I'll start going round. See, I'm going round at the center. It will remain like this, like that. I'm also trying to make sure that it doesn't come off very much, trying to maintain into a cone shape. And then this last piece, I'll take it round and tuck it at the bottom like that. Now we have our layers inside there. When I start rolling it again, the layers are already inside here.
The last time I made chapo, this is the technique that I used.
Yes.
And what I did is roll this.
Yes.
Then once it's rolled, you just simply do this.
Yes.
And then roll like this. Does it then?
That will still work. The idea is when you even do that method, because that's a good method also. Just when you roll it, now you have this shape.
Yeah.
When you roll it, what will happen? The layers now will be different from this.
Okay.
It's not a bad method, because even the adding of the oil, remember, makes the chapatis softer. It's just that my method, I prefer this one, but even that one can still work. So now when we have the balls like this, you see, touch, see now, extra soft.
Yes, very soft.
We added more oil to them, so it's extra soft, and the layers now will come through. I'll start by adding a small amount of flour, like that. So I see, keep going one direction and turning it to the other direction, and you see the marks for the we add the flour so that it has some room to move around, and the idea right now is to spread it until it's about 1 centimeter thick, about 1 centimeter thick. Because if you press it too much, what will happen, the chapati now will flatten and our layers will no longer be there. So is it hot? What do you think?
Yeah, it's already hot.
It's already hot?
Yeah.
If it's too hot, it will overcook, yes.
Yeah.
So the first one, we don't add oil.
You just put it as it is.
Yes, you just put it dry.
So we are going with 1,000.
Yes, because remember it has oil on the inside.
Yes.
I don't need to add oil at this stage.
Okay.
When you turn it, is when now I need oil on the first stage.
Okay.
Because when you add oil too soon, what happens is that it will start browning. The oil will fasten the cooking process.
Yes.
It will brown on the bottom before it cooks on the inside. That's why you cook it dry.
Yes. One side is not,
Yes, because now the hot,
proper.
yeah,
The heat seems to be
on one side, yes.
on one side.
Yeah.
There we are.
But that's dry. That's what you want. You want it to cook dry.
Yeah.
Maybe you turn it now to see. Just check. How is it? Yes. Now,
Yes,
good.
yes.
Now this side you can start with the oil, and I'll wait for the other side.
Just a little bit.
Yes, just a little bit, evenly. Just press it. It's fine. Press it. So it's now the oil that we are adding now that will cook the chapati to the brownness. Now that we know what chapati is. Now turn it. Check on the first side, on the other side.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's burning a little
Yes.
bit too
Now,
fast.
yes.
So
Now
keep
it's
reducing the heat.
yes. You keep regulating the heat until you get it right.
Yeah.
And that part you can just apply
Yeah.
like that,
Little bit.
like that. It's about regulating the heat.
Yeah.
And then that one is ready to place on the plate. That's, so chapatis are ready.
Oh yes, they are.
And
Da-da-da-da-da. Drum rolls.
yes, so remember I said when you cover them, they become softer, and as you can see, especially the ones at the center, it's super soft.
Guys, do not leak your cameras. Learn how to do it. It's like amazing.
Yeah. So
So
take a bite. Let's see.
so I
So
think
remember
first-
we put salt, we put sugar. Do you taste that?
okay.
And the layers.
Blah 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 blah. Oh, it's hot.
Yeah. So you see the layers were coming from the way we
Yes.
folded it.
Yes. Now
Yes.
you can see them.
Yes.
Like perfectly. Like,
Yes.
Look at this. Okay. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Well, I have. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I thought my mom makes the most mean chapos of all time.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I think now I am at par with her.
Yeah. So it's again, it's also practice. So the more you keep on doing it, like you were saying that it's hard to knead.
Yes.
Yes, it's practice. Yeah. So there you have it. That has been today's episode of Cooking with Chef Raphael. We are making chapatis with Lucia. I hope you've learned something. And let me know in the comment section when you make yours, how yours turns out. So that's me, Chef Raphael, signing out. See you next time.